With the very first teaser trailer that dropped today of this new Maul series, the first series, or at least the very first season of this new Maul season that's coming out in 2.5 months. I am so excited. So, hey, look, it's a teaser trailer, so it's really hard to tell exactly what's going to go on. At the same time, I'm very excited about it, and here are 3 quick things about what gets me very excited about. The first of which is the animation. Even, having seen the development throughout the years of the Clone Wars, obviously the first few seasons are very different in how they look versus what we saw the development in season 5, then 6, then ultimately the 7th, which you could really tell there was such an increasing, incredible quality to even just the visual aspects. They've not only taken that, but also what they did with the Bad Batch, and there seems to be even something, they've perhaps tinkered with it more, maybe sprinkled in a little bit, not only what they've learned along the way for season 7 of the Clone Wars and the 3 seasons of the Bad Batch, but maybe even some aspects of the Rebels. And look, I think the iconically successful or successfully iconic visual style of the Clone Wars was far superior to Rebels. It is still nevertheless really fascinating to me to see ways in which, even just from the teaser trailer, they've made the visual aspects, visual language, visual look of it to be somehow even more impressive. I am so excited for that. Number 2, Maul. That's right, I want to see more of the story of Maul himself. Now look, if you have only ever seen movies, Star Wars movies, you saw him being sliced in half in 1999 in The Phantom Menace, you probably would have been very shocked to see him return to the screen in 2018 in Solo. What is he doing there? He was chopped in half. Now look, for those of us who have watched not just movies but also the TV shows, you very much will have seen that he's come back, and that really is, I think, the incredible brilliance of the storytelling around Maul. Look, 15 years ago, that's right, January 2011 was sort of kind of in a vision. Like, it wasn't even like him fully, it was like him in a vision, appeared on screen briefly in Star Wars: The Clone Wars, and that was shocking. I remember thinking at that time, that's crazy. You do know Star Wars fans are actually intelligent, smart people. We all saw him get sawed in half. The Phantom Menace is not an obscure Star Wars property. We saw it happen. That's not possible that he's back. Are you absurd? Now, when they, in, I think it was March 2012, so we're talking almost 14 years ago, when they brought him actually back and then developed that over the course of multiple episodes, wow, that was incredible in the 4th season of the Clone Wars. What they did in the 4th and 5th seasons of Star Wars: The Clone Wars with Maul is, look, there's a lot of really great episodes in Star Wars: The Clone Wars, but those are some of the absolute best that I really like. I still think very fondly back in those 4th and 5th seasons to see really Maul, the rise of Maul, but even the struggles and troubles he finds himself in. And then, of course, they came out with that comic book in 2014, I believe, fall 2014. Really cool comic book of Maul. Really great. What they've continued to do with him, they, spoiler alert, brought him back in Solo. They also had him in the 7th season of the Clone Wars as well as Rebels. They've had him on screen in multiple other opportunities, and I'm really curious to see more of his story. Look, we also, it's so, really what they did over the course, even just those 4th and 5th seasons, not to mention the 7th season and more of the Clone Wars, I'm really excited to see more of his story. He's such a fascinating character, and I'm really excited to see what they do with him. Number 3, the third and final point here for me that I'm excited to see is not only Maul, but also this is taking place the beginning of the Empire, right? So we're getting to see the Imperial era. We're beginning to see not only the crackdown on Force users, on Jedi, but we also get to see some of these survivors, right? Some Padawan survivors. In this teaser trailer, we get a sense that there's a Padawan for Maul. That's going to be an interesting dynamic going on. So I'm really interested to see how they develop some of these aspects of the outside of the Imperial era, Force users, and some of these conflicts. So I'm really excited. It's 2.5 months away. Count me in for Maul. Here we go. May the Force be with you.